You have to love some of the localization names for JoJo's stands. What a spicy lady. You can't even deny that's actually a pretty awesome translation. This stand, Spice Girls, has to be one of the best stands I've seen in this part, and this is only the first real episode that we've seen her in, but the amount of personality and sass and just the creativity to her stand power is awesome. We have a moment where we literally have Spice Girls waving her finger back and forth as Trish is being like, nuh-uh, no one's dying on my watch. The amount of spunk and overall sass to not only Trish but also Spice Girls is so awesome. What I look for in a JoJo stand, and this is what this part has done exceptionally well, is what really makes me latch onto a stand is a couple of things. One, does it have a personality? Like stands such as Sex Pistols, the idea of having multiple bullets that are multiple little like stand-like guys who control bullets with their own distinct personalities is what makes me love the stand. It's not the ability to kind of control where a bullet goes. That's a cool ability, but that's not what makes me love that stand. It's the personality and different behaviors for all these little guys. When we see Spice Girl and she's literally just talking and being so bossy and sassy, but also having this really cool ability of being able to soften anything that she touches, that's what I truly look for in a stand. Not a stand that's just powerful and can punch real hard, but something that has an ability that can be really creative in a battle, but also outside of a battle. Stands like Moody Blues, being able to replay the past is so cool. You can have detective-like scenes, or you can also have just situations where the boss is shitting his pants knowing that if he sees that picture, he can replay the past and see what exactly happened and who took the picture. I love stands that have a creative ability such as JoJo's, but also if you can slap a personality onto it, I'll love it even more. This stand was incredible, and this is really an episode we needed, because the only character I think you can really point out to and say, well, they haven't had that much time to shine, they haven't really developed past their initial image, would be Trish, and that's a very fair criticism, but it's not really fair because we hadn't seen the entire package of Golden Wind. If we had left this part and she just stayed as the kind of depressed damsel in distress, sure, there would be something to criticize. But we have a very long-running series right here, so to have an episode where she's the one to save the day of this plane, crashing down and taking out a stand that can't actually be killed and you have to basically throw it in the ocean so it can kind of hunt prey against crashing waves for all of eternity, was kind of what we need to see. What I love is how, without even knowing it, Trish is changing, and it's really big thanks to Giorno and his kind of leadership and kind of mentorship that he kind of inspires people. And I love how she kind of comes up with this plan of reclining the seats to make this stand attach, which honestly is a good plan, and you can kind of creep one by one, but it's ultimately not going to be that easy. So to see her stand like awaken sort of a thing, like kind of show her true form, I like it because Trish by all means is a normal person thrown into a supernatural world. Sure, she's had a stand since childhood based on what the stand did say, but she's never really known this life. The past couple of days have been so hectic for her, she doesn't know what's going on, what her father truly is, and what these weird powers will do to her. So to have a girl kind of thrown into this impossible situation for one reason or another, trying to save a random guy that she just met a couple of days ago, that's what really kind of highlights Giorno's leadership and kind of inspirational aura that he radiates, which is so perfect because this is her time to shine and really grow out of this shell of her wanting to hide away from all of the bullshit, but actually face it head on and really make decisions for herself. So when characters like Bruno say creep to the door, she's going to run head first and make sure that she can show what she's capable of. I just like the idea of a stand that can soften matter, but also can do things that are so creative. Like the idea of softening a seat so it would basically like stretch into it and then rebound right against the wall. It can't get hurt by things that are moving, but a still wall and being that much force against them, like that's going to do some damage. And just seeing almost how frightening, like honestly, Spice Girls was given a run for the money in terms of King Crimson, because when she was stabbing this thing, that was creepy, it was badass, it was awesome. I love just how they immediately make the viewer say, you know what, this stand is one of the coolest we've seen in this part. Not only does it have a badass persona of really kind of showing who's boss, but it has this ability that you can see so many interesting ways of how to use it in a battle. The idea that you can soften pretty much anything and kind of create this perfect shield, but also you can throw things back at an incredible force to really do some serious damage. Like, you throw all of this force at something and then it just gets reflected back because of just how soft and kind of like rubber-like something could be. I really like this episode. This was so cool. Like, last week was so horror designed and this episode was so inspiring and heroic, because you have a character who you don't expect to fight back. You didn't know her stand was going to be relevant. I mean, it was just set up so perfectly, so you knew this episode had to have her stand revealed, but you kind of expected that she would stay as the timid girl who might get lucky and find a way to take out the big bad. But in actuality, because of her stand really inspiring her and kind of like complimenting her and praising her for her decisions and overcoming her fear, like she was really able to rise to the occasion and properly join the group. Not just be the tag-along who the group is taking care of, but really rise up and be a powerful asset and really show these other guys like, holy shit, like maybe she's the one who can protect us at times instead of always having to protect her. Like having moments like these is what's important. Like this would be the only main thing that I would say hasn't been explored exceptionally well, which would be Trish's character. She was really a damsel in distress with a great personality, but she was really just kind of tagging along, and you can't blame her. It's only been a few days for her over the course of 25 episodes, but still, to have this moment finally to really let her rise to the occasion and come up with one of the coolest plans ever, to literally let the plane crash because that would be the fastest moving object, but also turn the plane into a parachute, like, you can't beat that creativity. And to see more personality in stands and see more creativity in stands, not just being able to do something that's a hard-hitting punch, but also be able to use their own force against them and just make everything so rubber-like. It is so cool, and I love the introduction to how her boot slips off, and I'm just like, what the hell is this stand? I was like, okay, her boot slipped off, like, is she like making herself greasy? Like, what the hell is going on? And then just the reveal of what was truly happening was one of the coolest stand introductions to this part, hands down. Spice Girls, I don't know how much we'll see of her, but if this had to be the one and only time we really got to see her power flourish, I'd honestly be okay with it, because we had the most horror design stand, the most horror design situation, and we just spiced things up and really took care of business and really made Trish flourish and kind of grow into her own person. And I love the shifts in style, especially when Trish was really in charge. They kind of changed around the color palette to all the characters. Such a nice aesthetic touch to really make you feel inspired and hopeful, because these two characters, are just like, holy shit, things are getting wild, we're all gonna die. And Trish, she wasn't having any of that. She's like, I got this, you gotta trust in me. I love it when a character who was fine as they were really gets a moment to shine, inspire the others, and really rise to the occasion and become something so much more. No longer is she just the girl being hunted by her father, being protected by some pretty badass bodyguards. Now, she's an actual part of the crew who understands what her stand is. If this is what she can do her first time around using her stand power, imagine what she could do in the future. Like, that's what makes this part so good, is just when you think you've seen it all, just when you think you're okay with the current setup, Golden Wind inspires you alongside these characters and shows you there's still so much more to do, and how when we have stands that have such a wide array of things that they can do, Moody Blues, Spice Girls, like there's so much that they can do both in and out of battle, and it's gonna be so cool to see, like having the alarm clock become rubber-like so the ticking will keep moving without being destroyed. Like, that's so cool. No one can deny that's cool, and I love it when fights are this thought out, which is kind of what Golden Wind's been built off of. Such an incredible fight. I love the spice, I love the sass, I love the personality, and I love seeing a good character like Trish turn into a great one all in one episode. When you have such a dreadful and horror designed episode like last week, where you think, holy shit, everyone's out, no arms, no Giorno, everyone's screwed, it's down to just a couple of guys, and then you end the episode with them all healed and as good as can be. I love that. I love how there's still the threat that people can die and be wounded. Giorno, yes, can heal them, but if Giorno's out of commission, or just something bad happens in the middle of the battle before he can get to someone, they will lose. So you never truly know, is this the end for someone, or is this going to be a redemption? And I love how we walk out so happy and so comforted in just what happened, because last week things were at an all-time low. There was no escaping that. Sure, we saw his hand regenerating, but that didn't mean shit, especially when you got a stand that technically can't be killed. How do you defeat that? And then you introduce Spice Girls, and you're like, oh my god, that was the perfect way to wrap it up. It didn't feel like an ass pull, it didn't come out of nowhere, there was build-up. I mean, back when we were with Grateful Dead, we knew that she had to stand. It was just a matter of time. Oh my god, what an incredible episode. I love it when JoJo pulls these cards, and really, there hasn't been a bad episode of Golden Wind yet, and I doubt there will be. But as always, we gotta ask, what is everyone feeling of this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Are you like me and love Spice Girls, or Did you just think it was a one-hit wonder? Let me know. Manga readers, anime originals, whatever you're feeling, let me know, because I really enjoyed this episode. I had a grin on my face, and I don't think we'll be leaving anytime soon, so let me know. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. But until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.